Well, what are we even doing here? We are moving on to lesson 181. There's an introduction to lessons 181 to 200. I don't even know. I'm in real time with you today. Our next few lessons make a special point of firming up your willingness to make your weak commitment strong, your scattered goals blend into one intent. So we're amping up. You are not asked for total dedication all the time as yet. So slackers, feel relief. We're not asking for total dedication, not yet. But you are asked to practice now in order to attain the sense of peace such unified commitment will bestow, if only intermittently. It is experiencing this that makes it sure that you will give your total willingness to following the way the Course sets forth. So, a little bit more. Our lessons now are geared specifically to widening horizons and direct approaches to the special blocks that keep your vision narrow. So we're going to be focusing better. We're going to be removing blocks. So we're going to direct approaches to the special blocks that keep your vision narrow and too limited to let you see the value of our goal. We are attempting now to lift these blocks, however briefly. Words alone cannot convey the sense of liberation which their lifting brings. But the experience of freedom and of peace that comes as you give up your tight control of what you see speaks for itself. Your motivation will be so intensified that words become of little consequence. You will be sure of what you want and what is valueless. So we're entering certainty. Hooray! And so we start our journey beyond words by concentrating first on what impedes your progress still. So what is blocking you still? What's impeding you? What's impeding your progress? Experience of what exists beyond defensiveness remains beyond achievement while it is denied. It may be there, but you cannot accept its presence. So we now attempt to go past all defenses for a little while each day. No more than this is asked, because no more than this is needed. It will be enough to guarantee the rest will come. So that little intro sets the tone for lessons 181 to 200. Today we are doing lesson 181. I trust my brothers who are one with me. And yeah, right away, you're like, I don't friggin' trust my brothers. I don't trust my sisters. I don't even trust myself, right? You might have a little ego flare up right off the bat with this one, but this is a huge one. This is a huge lesson because if you don't trust your brothers, that's coming from within you. That's coming from in your projector. You're writing the script. You're laying the foundation. You're instilling beliefs. You're following your beliefs. So this lesson is about you taking a look at what impedes your trust, what impedes your connection to the world, to your brothers, to love. What is blocking it? What is impeding it? What beliefs are making you stop from connecting, from trusting? So trusting your brothers is essential to establishing and holding up your faith in your ability to transcend doubt and lack of sure conviction in yourself. So when you attack a brother, you proclaim that he is limited by what you have perceived in him. You do not look beyond his errors. Rather, they are magnified, becoming blocks to your awareness of the self that lies beyond your own mistakes and past his seeming sins as well as yours. So when we say, I can't trust anybody, or I do not trust that person, we are literally putting a roadblock, a wall we won't let love in. Love's at the door. God's at the door. Jesus is at the door. And we're just not having it. Perception has a focus. It is this that gives consistency to what you see. Change but this focus, and what you behold will change accordingly. Your vision now will shift to give support to the intent which has replaced the one you held before. Remove your focus on your brother's sins. Remove it. Stop looking at it. And you experience the peace that comes from faith in sinlessness. So now we get really crazy. We're going to look at people's sinlessness. We're not even gonna think about what they did to us. We're gonna look past it. We're gonna remove our focus from focusing on their sins. So it's like whenever yesterday when we were worrying instead of loving, and the advice was to, how can I see this differently? How can I envision peace? How can I envision happiness? How can I envision my brother being trustworthy? You know, the faith receives its only sure support from what you see in others past their sins. For their mistakes, if focused on, are witnesses to sins in you, and you will not transcend their sight and see the sinlessness that lies beyond. So therefore, in practicing today, we first let all such little focuses give way to our great need to let our sinlessness become apparent. We instruct our minds that it is this we seek, and only this, for just a little while. Just a little while. We do not care about our future goals, and what we saw an instant previous has no concern for us within this interval of time wherein we practice changing our intent. We seek for innocence and nothing else. We seek it with no concern but now. So this is the practice, because the ego is going to say, yeah, but remember when they, yeah, but, oh, aren't you so mad they betrayed you? Yeah, but, it's like, no, just for this instant right now, I'm not thinking about the past. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm seeing innocence right now within myself, within others, within everyone, because none of this is real and none of it happened. And in that one freaking moment, you're going to get a little lick of peace, of innocence, of not having association with any of it. It's going to feel really good. Tina Jesus for lesson 181 said, yes, you're not going to like this one because it's going to show you all the places where you are not trusting and where you have a deep level of distrust in your belief system. Remember, your world is created from your inner perceptions and your consciousness. So if you have distrust outside of you, that's coming from within. That is showing you your deep level of distrust. And that deep level of distrust creates a future like the past. So when you are focusing on past hurts and betrayals, you are creating a future that also still has that in it. So what you need to do is become defenseless and open-hearted. Because if you believe in your wounds, you will recreate them. You will recreate the past again and again in the future. So just for today, trust in your brothers. Practice every hour, a few times every hour, of trusting your brothers, and start to beam out a different frequency, a frequency of love and open-heartedness, defenselessness. You beam out a frequency of love and you become more connected. You see things differently and better and more open-minded. Beam out a frequency of trust and love and safety. So just for today, trust in your brothers, and you will create from a new inner perception. So that will be a challenge to stop looking at the past. But we enter in the time of practicing with one intent: to look upon the sinlessness within. So It's a practice. And you can do it. We recognize that we have lost this goal if anger blocks our way in any form. Okay? And if a brother's sins occur to us, our narrowed focus will restrict our sight and turn our eyes upon our own mistakes, which we will magnify and call our sin. So for a little while, without regard to past or future, should such blocks arise, we will transcend them with instructions to our minds to change their focus, as we say. It is not this that I would look upon. I trust my brothers who are one with me. You're basically going to be fighting with yourself all day, especially if you are still hooked on the past and past sins of what people did to you, right? So you just say to yourself, enough of this, enough of this. I will not look upon this. It is not this that I would look upon. I trust my brothers who are one with me. And we will also use this thought to keep us safe throughout the day. We do not seek for long-range goals. As each obstruction seems to block the vision of our sinlessness, we seek but for a surcease, an instant from the misery the focus upon sin will bring, and uncorrected will remain. Nor do we ask for fantasies, for what we seek to look upon is really there. And as our focus goes beyond mistakes, we will behold a holy, sinless world. So we have to look past the mistake, which means we cannot look at the mistake. When seeing this is all we want to see, when this is all we seek, for in the name of true perception are the eyes of Christ inevitably ours. My nose is itchy. And the love he feels for us becomes our own as well. This will become the only thing we see reflected in the world and in ourselves. But you have to want it. Right? When seeing this sinlessness is all we want to see, because our ego minds want to see the sin, want to see the betrayal, want to keep reminding you all the time, never trust again, never trust him, never trust again, never, never, never. Don't forget what happened. Don't forget. Like, I'll forgive, but I won't forget. Well, you didn't really fucking forgive then, did ya? The world which once proclaimed our sins becomes the proof that we are sinless, and our love for everyone we look upon attests to our remembrance of the holy self which knows no sin and never could conceive of anything without its sinlessness. So do your best. We seek for this remembrance as we turn our minds to practicing today. We neither look ahead nor backwards. We look straight into the present, and we give our trust to the experience we ask for now. Our sinlessness is but the will of God. This instant is our willing one with his. pathwaysoflight.org. Welcome to the reading, A Course in Miracles Workbook Lesson 181, Insights. I trust my brothers who are one with me. What stands out to me in today's lesson, including the introduction, is the idea that these lessons are about practice. We are not expected to be perfectly consistent in remembering every moment of the day to see the innocence in our brothers, but we are asked to practice. Each time we remember to practice, we give ourselves a gift. We give ourselves the opportunity to experience the peace that comes with seeing the innocence of our brothers. The ego loves to keep us preoccupied with focus on all the times we have failed to see our brother's innocence or have failed to apply the lessons or ideas presented in the course. It loves to point out these failures as proof that we will continue to fail in the future. This lesson clearly identifies this ego strategy as a defense against our release. As we remember, neither the past nor the future are here now. We can focus on the present moment. It is in the present moment that we can see our brother free of all our past mistakes as well as our perception of his. If We are able to bring our full attention for just a brief moment each day to look past the images of this world and see the face of Christ in a brother. We have given ourselves a magnificent gift. The peace we experience in that moment will motivate us to keep practicing. This is what the exercises in these lessons are designed to do, to bring us the experience that will motivate us to practice more. In the beginning, we practice doing the exercises as prescribed, sometimes not even understanding them. Sometimes they have no conscious effect. All we are asked to do is practice. We don't have to agree with the ideas. We don't have to even understand them. We need only practice. The exercises do have effects whether they are recognized or not. As we have more and more instances of peace and of happiness, our motivation grows to be more diligent in our practice. The periods of resistance do not matter. They will pass as we continue to practice. We need not battle against the resistance. We need only practice the exercises. The gift of peace and happiness the practice brings will overshadow the resistance, and it will gently fade away. So today I will practice seeing that my brother is one with me. We share one self, and I can trust that self, for it is love. In today's lesson, Jesus is asking me to practice seeing the light of Christ in my brother, the truth in him, instead of the illusions. He knows as I practice having this focus of looking for the truth of love in my brother, I will remember I am love. As I practice seeing the truth in my brother today and every day, Jesus knows I will return to remembering myself. The truth in my brother and in me are one truth. This practice helps me feel the peace that comes from my inheritance. From the experience of this peace will come the motivation to strengthen the one goal I am being led to. I am being led to being single-minded. I am being led to knowing only God. How I get there is by seeing my brother's innocence instead of his mistakes. I can't have both focuses at the same time. I must choose one. Jesus is helping me with this choice. And with my choice of seeing the innocence behind the illusions, I am returned to the one self we all are. Today is a day of practice. Practice in seeing my brother's innocence, who is one with me. This lesson says that a major hazard to success has been involvement with our past and future goals. This is so true for me because I know a lot of my fear of being successful with this course is based on my seeming past failures. The lesson also says these concerns are but defenses against present change of focus and perception. Although I still need much practice on changing my perception, I am learning to quiet my mind long enough to not make any judgments or have an opinion on a situation. In doing this, I believe I leave myself open to let the Holy Spirit work through me. At that point, I might not have a better opinion of my brother or the situation, but at least I have no opinion instead of a bad one. And if I'm consistent in this practice, I do eventually begin to see my brother and or the situation in a different light. The course does claim to be a course in mind training, and this is exactly what we do by practicing these lessons. pathwaysoflight.org So that's a good positive way to look at it, because like I said, you could really find yourself in a fight with the ego about this. But if you could just get into no opinion, no thought, no focus on the past, no focus on the future, because right here, right now, in this instant, nothing is happening. Nothing from the past is happening right now, and the future is not happening. So the more you can get right here, right now, the better. And that's the practice. It's just practice. And it doesn't matter how many times you got to try again. It's just practice. So when this stuff comes up, say, it is not this that I would look upon. Just start with that. Thought comes up of the past, it is not this that I would look upon. I'm not looking at this. It is not this that I would look upon. Then practice installing a new thought. I trust my brothers who are one with me. So for me, it kind of is helpful, like, okay, so if there's only one love, one self, one creator, and that's how we're all one. So the one self has created this whatever. Like, that person is me. We're just part of the story. So how can I get mad at the movie? Like, it's just a movie. So they played their part, I played my part, and I trust that we all played our parts well, right? So moving forward, or not even moving forward, just right here, right now, total acceptance that we all played our parts well. The villain did a great job. The victim did a great job. Like, we just all did such a good job. We did great. And I don't even need to think about that anymore, because that's old news. It is not this that I would look upon. I'm over it. It is not this I would look upon. I trust my brothers who are one with me. And then I just kind of think we all did a good job, and now we are just relishing in our innocence, right? No one's guilty for getting up on the stage. We just did it, and now we're off the stage, right? I don't know, you got to add a little craziness in there, because that's what you're going to need to do for lesson 181 to get through the distrust that just it can be so solid in you, so anchored, like, I will never trust again. This is what you tell yourself all the time. So we're going to replace and undo a lot of these things by saying other things. I trust my brothers who are one with me. It is not this that I would look upon. I trust my brothers who are one with me. And then just practice again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Okay, well, what do you think of that? Blingity bling bling bling.